All right, welcome back. Today is episode 3 or 4. Now I've got myself
4, I
confused.
think.
Of Scene Interpretation. This is a podcast where I, a therapist, get to talk about my obsession with movies, some pseudo psychology thrown in there, but really it's just an excuse to hang out with people I adore and kind of force them to watch movies they haven't seen before. So I am Dr. Sophia Murphy. I'm a licensed therapist here in Tempe, Arizona, and I am a self-diagnosed cinephile. It's my favorite thing in the world. And today I am hanging out with Angel. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Angel. I work in the tech space and I live in South Chandler. I am not a big movie buff, so I could probably do every episode if Sophie actually wanted me to. So honored to be here and happy to have watched a movie.
And I will probably be like forcing you to watch other movies and then begging you to come hang out with me again because I love the fact that you're like learning and exploring new things.
Yeah, it was a good one to kick it off with, too.
Okay, good. So I'm excited. So I guess before we dive into my questions, I would just love to hear maybe some first impressions, immediate takeaways, and maybe even a step back. What did you know about this movie before we picked it?
Okay, so first of all, I just Googled like top comedy movies that most people have seen.
Okay.
And that's how I picked my list for you of like, hey, which ones?
I love this.
So I knew nothing. Like literally
okay.
nothing. I actually had a different actor in mind who was the star of
nice.
this. Like I went in so blind.
Oh, I love this. I didn't know the process that you use, so finding this out in the moment is thrilling to me. Okay, so then these questions could go all over the place if
Yes.
you had literally no previous knowledge of
Nope.
this story. Okay, so where I've been starting with people, and you kind of answered some of this, but the quote Bueller is one of the most famous quotes in movie history. It definitely has been imitated a million times in pop culture and in other movies. I'm wondering how it landed, hearing it in context and seeing where it came from.
Yeah, because I've heard it before, had no idea what it meant.
Okay.
And so now I was like, oh, this is from a movie. Like I didn't even know it was from a movie for the longest time. So
Okay.
yeah, it
I'm
was
glad
big
we
connection.
could put those dots together for you. I guess maybe this one that is a little harder than. To me, it's one of the defining teen movies of the 80s. I'm wondering maybe even just because I was so excited having you pick it, how did that affect maybe your expectations or even how you thought you should feel when you finally watched it?
I honestly didn't know what to expect. Like I knew it was a comedy,
Okay.
but when I started watching it, I had so many different emotions. And I
Okay.
think it's because like life has just been lifing recently.
Also fair.
And so there are some things I know are supposed to be funny in the movie.
Sure.
And I was very much struggling with it. Like,
Okay.
especially in the beginning.
Okay.
The end wrapped up nicely for me, but
Okay.
I was definitely going back and forth with a lot of feelings watching this. Whereas normally
Totally fair.
I feel like it would just be something funny
Sure.
that I'm not like thinking about all aspects of it for this.
Yeah. I mean, I think where you're at when you're watching it is going to impact how it lands and
Yeah.
the different parts. So I have some of those thoughts too, because I mean, I've seen this probably 30, 40 times over my lifetime. We had the VHS growing up because I'm ancient. So I could probably do it from start to finish. And I was doing some self-care this weekend. And I was like, you know what? I literally can't watch this movie too many times. I'm just going to rewatch it. And I was laughing the whole time. But there are definitely parts that really get under my skin, which say a lot about my personality, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But I guess talk to me about how you felt when he breaks the fourth wall and we realize like, oh, it's that kind of movie.
In what way?
So like I remember it being pretty groundbreaking for the time. It wasn't the first movie to do that, but at least in my age, I didn't see it when it was brand new, but I was probably like 10 by the time I saw it. So when he started talking to us, I thought it was delightful of like, oh, we get to actually hang out with his character. But since you didn't know anything about it, I just wonder how it landed when that happened and you realize, oh, it's that kind of movie where we're like in
That
it
makes
with him.
sense. I love those type of movies
Okay.
and shows. So that's actually one of my favorite parts. Like I love the engagement.
Okay.
And so when that started, I was like, okay, I'm in. Like,
Okay.
I love this.
So that came off positively.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know there's some people who don't enjoy that, but
Sure.
I enjoy that vibe.
Yeah, me too. And I think now it's been done so many times, it's like less I guess, mind-blowing. I just remember thinking I had never seen anything like it as a
Right.
kid. Even how much I love movies by that age and how much I watch them, you're always an outside observer.
Yeah,
And
that
since
makes
it
sense.
is so silly and it's so over the top, I kinda like the fact that you're in trouble and, like, doing these ridiculous things right alongside him. And
Absolutely.
I like learning background information about his friends through him,
Mhm.
which I think is neat too as a concept.
I think I like that too because I'm a big reader, and so you
Yeah.
get that a lot naturally from
Yes.
books, like
You're
hearing what's
in
in
it.
people's heads, so I think that's why it specifically speaks to me.
That makes sense. So I guess, like, let's get into it. What were some of the first feelings you had as we get into Ferris's day and approach to life in general? It's very much both.
Yeah. First of all, I'm like, "This kid will be the best salesperson in the world," because
Yeah.
that's just how I envision all salespeople to be
Yeah.
based on my experiences.
Yep. That's fair.
Um, and also, like, does the principal not have things to do? And I'm like, he has won so much time
Yeah.
to like investigate
Yeah.
this. He is very invested,
Yes.
and there's a lot of weird things he does as an adult that I'm just like, this is
Yeah.
so weird.
That doesn't age well.
Like, not at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember thinking more this time of kind of to your point of like, what is his deal?
Yeah.
His, we really don't get much of his we don't get any of his backstory.
No.
Actually, it's just this like feud between him and this one student and
Yes.
his never-ending quest to catch this kid and be
Yes.
right and prove how, manipulative Ferris really
Mhm.
is. But also he's the adult who supposedly runs the school.
Exactly.
Um,
I just feel like there's a lot of other things
I
he
agree.
could be and should be doing.
Yes. And I also don't know if principals were like threatening kids even when they thought they were misbehaving. I mean, maybe even though I'm old, I wasn't a teenager in the 80s.
Right.
So I'm not sure. Maybe that was par for the course that you could just tell off a kid on the phone because you think he's faking it and you demand to see the corpse of the dead grandma, which is
Mhm.
still one of my favorite lines though.
Yeah. Or like breaking into somebody's house.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like
Those are
that.
really far illegal activities and getting into a physical altercation with
Yeah.
your student's sister, who I guess is also your student. There's all parts
Yeah.
to him that are wild. But even him and his secretary, that
So
relationship.
funny. So the secretary took me out. Like, she honestly was probably my favorite character.
I love her comedic relief when they're puzzling it together. There's a line that I have heard again a million times that really made me laugh this time about how the principal is saying that, Ferris has got his girlfriend in on it. And I don't know that he knows the Camerons in on it yet. And then the secretary goes, and the grandmother.
She adds so many little
I
line
know.
zingers.
He's a righteous dude. But yeah. Okay. So other feelings that came up for you kind of as we got into it.
Um, I don't know if this is necessarily feeling, but an observation of
Okay.
just how teachers and the staff are portrayed. Like,
Yes.
I remember watching movies back in the day, and all the teachers are like old and
Yes.
ancient and like
Yeah.
boring and all these things. And
Great point.
it's so different than nowadays. Like, when
Yeah.
I think of teachers, I think of my friends who are teachers. And
Yes.
even when I was in school, like, I don't actually remember having like old teachers.
That's fair.
And so it was very funny just like watching that back and
Yeah.
just how they're portrayed and how different that is.
Yes.
But it also is like it's showing how life is, right? We're not having teachers stay in the industry as long as we used to
That's a
anymore,
great point.
And so it's like that's why they're portrayed differently now because that's kind of what's happening. Like, people don't want to stay in that industry so long, so they're
Yeah.
getting burnt.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you said that, I immediately think of Abbott Elementary. Like, those are the
Mhm.
teachers I think of now in media.
Exactly.
And they're fun and they're funny and
Yes.
they're
Relatable.
beautiful and relatable,
Yeah.
right? Like, they're all so good looking and they're just like humans.
Right.
And these teachers are literal robots.
Yeah.
Like, they are clinging for life with the little bit of energy that they can muster to get through the day.
Exactly.
And it's not a lot of energy,
Yeah.
which I guess from that perspective, maybe that's also true of the principal. I mean, if you imagine he's been a
Yes.
principal for 40 years or 30 years and he is just done.
Yeah,
And if
that's
he has
fair.
one more kid push his buttons, he will
It's
break
going over
into
the
your
edge.
house
Yeah.
and fight your dog and fight your sister.
Yep.
So, maybe we can stretch for a little bit of empathy
Oof,
for
okay.
Principal,
Giving some grace.
even though he is pretty atrocious.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I also think the bad guy always has that kind of mustache, so that right
Huh.
away just puts him in the shit
Yes.
form for me.
And the crazy eyes, like, just looking
Yes.
super psychotic.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he had a nice suit. He, tried when he showed up to work, but
The day really wore on him. That was the other thing too. I was like, this day has a million hours. Where
Oh.
does all the time come from, and how do I add it to my day to day? Wow.
Absolutely. Yes. I was thinking that too in this rewatch of just by the time Ferris even gets Cameron on board, school's been going on for a minute.
I feel like it's been days.
What time is it? I was thinking that too, before they even pick up Sloan, is it lunchtime?
Right.
And then he gets home, I think, is it 5 or 6? It shows his watch
I think
before
it
he
was
has to do the
6.
run.
I think he's supposed to be home at 6.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think.
I couldn't do half of those things from noon to 6.
What?
Even if I had the day off. So I guess we need to
Yes.
be aspirational like Fair.
And also, I'm like, how did you run into your dad so many times in such a big city when you're
Yes.
supposed to not be anywhere but your bed? Like,
So this is something I think about a lot because Seinfeld is my comfort show, and I watch one episode a day almost like a medication. I just need my 22 minutes of Seinfeld, pick a random episode. And that's also something that happens in that show. Is they're in New York City,
Right.
Manhattan. I don't know the odds of running into the 4 people every day, every place you go. I don't live in Manhattan. If I'm wrong, comment, tell me I'm an idiot.
I feel like you're correct.
I feel like that doesn't happen. So part of me wonders if that's just a trope of the time. Because, Seinfeld was kind of late 80s, early 90s. This is in that same time frame. It's just we don't even have to worry about that being accurate. We just need to put people in the right place at the right time and don't worry about how they ended up there. It's not important to the story. It's just important that they cross paths.
It killed me. It killed me. And I thought about too, the things that he was able to get away with because of technology and stuff. Can you imagine nowadays, you being on a float in a parade, leading a whole ensemble when you're supposed to be sick in bed? That would be on Instagram, Twitter, any of the things within 2 seconds.
You couldn't go to a restaurant and impersonate the sausage king of Chicago.
I wrote that down too.
Going, who are you?
Yeah.
Abe Froman, the sausage king of... actually, no, that's not you. This is his Instagram, and you're lying to me. You're totally right. This movie couldn't exist in 2026, which I think is part of the reason I love it so much, too, is it's just a totally different time. It's totally asinine. There's some sweetheart in the story kind of by the end. It's just absurd.
Yeah.
And I think what's funny is it also, at least for me, it really plays on this idea that maybe because I saw it when I was young, but I do think in a part of my brain that if I ever did what I wasn't supposed to do, that's what would happen, is I would run into a parent, I would run into a boss. Something would occur where one day I just said, F it. I don't care. I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. I go to a restaurant and I look over and there's somebody I don't want to know I'm there.
Exactly.
And my cover is blown.
Exactly.
I don't think I have Ferris's luck, but I do think it affected in my mind the idea that if I go somewhere, I'm going to definitely run into someone I know.
I don't have his luck, and that's not how I was in school. I was one of those kids that wanted to be in school because my friends were there. I played sports. If I was sick, my mom had to make me stay home. So I'm like, I have a game today. What do you mean I can't go to school? And so watching this too, I was like, this is so far from any type of mindset I've ever had.
Well, you actually took me into another question, which was, do you relate more to Ferris, Cameron, or Jeannie? Which one do you wish you were? And you could do now / when you were in high school. We can take both answers.
I don't know. I feel like they're all so far on the spectrum. I don't even know if I can say I'm any of them. I mean, maybe Jeannie. I don't know, actually. Probably Jeannie, I would have to say.
Yeah.
But they're just, again, they're so exasperated as characters.
Yes. Yes. They're over the top.
Crazy. And I don't think I would want to be any of them. Even with Ferris, I'm I I like how he can go with the flow and make things happen, but that is way too far on one side of the spectrum for me.
Oh, I mean, he is the extreme
Yeah.
version of just like, I mean, I don't think we maybe had this term in the 80s, but just like the white confidence of like the boys, like,
Mediocre
it's
white
all
man.
just gonna
Yeah.
work out.
Yeah.
Like, we can just do whatever. Nothing bad ever happens to me. And
Mhm.
then it really doesn't. Like, he
Right.
gets away with all of it.
Which is what I could not believe by the end of it. Like, there were so many things I thought were gonna happen or end differently, and I was like, "Well, no wonder why he is the way he is, because this is how it turns out. I
Yes.
would also be that way."
Yes, absolutely. So I was really thinking about this question, and I was definitely a genie in high school. Like, I tried to do all the right things, follow all the rules, and if Ferris was my brother, it would have eaten away at my soul piece by piece every day, and I would have been the really like bitchy, angry, why does he get to get away with everything? It's not fair.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think now I'm somewhere in the middle, right? Like you said, they're all extreme. I'm never going to be built like Ferris. I just don't have it in me. I have too much anxiety. I have too much time planning
Yeah.
things I have to do.
Same.
And I'd like to think I care a little bit less about what other people do and don't do. And I do think fairness is still very near and dear to my heart. So I did really relate to her even at this age,
Mhm.
where I was like, girl, I get it. It's tough to watch him just fuck around and not have to find out. Like, he just skates on by.
Yep.
And I get her frustration and I do relate to her. And I think I remember being really frustrated with Ferris when I was younger
Mhm.
and wanting him to tone it down a little. Then we wouldn't have a movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even with Cameron, like, I probably had a little bit of Cameron in me too, where you're just like so
Yes.
exhausted.
I feel like I relate to Cameron right now. Like,
Yeah. I mean, he is the old soul of the story,
yeah.
right? And it gets a little darker with the trauma of his dad and
Right.
everything. And I do love, if we take out the positives, I love Ferris bringing him out of his shell
Mhm.
and being his friend and kind of encouraging him that he can do more than he thinks he can,
Yeah.
even though what he's trying to get him to do is less than stellar.
I struggled with that too because in the beginning, I felt like he was just so selfish with
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
And then toward the end, when it was like coming out more and more of what
Yeah.
he was doing, and then I was like, is he really doing that or is he just saying that? And so I was like struggling with that also.
100%. And I mean, I think like he is selfish, right? He wants what he wants and he really guilts and shames Cameron into like being his friend and
Yeah.
showing up for him and doing it his way.
Mhm.
And I do believe some earnest nature around like we have very limited days left before we go on to college and our life is never going to look the
Right.
same. And I did believe that kind of underlying motivation for him of like, it's either now or never.
Right.
And we know like college, adulthood, like it all goes so fast.
Mhm.
So maybe that's me stretching and wanting to see that side of him. And I think we get a little character evolution from his do it my way tantrum at the
Yeah.
beginning to like, I really love you, man. Like, we're buddies. We've been
Mhm.
through a lot. And he really, I believe earnestly, is willing to take the fall for Cameron in the
I
end
agree
if
with that.
Cameron wasn't ready to confront his dad.
Yeah, I agree
Like,
with that.
especially rewatching it, I believe that line when Ferris says, like, let me take the heat.
Mhm.
And I think that that is his redeeming quality of like, I pushed. Wow, I didn't even see this
Right.
coming. I'll actually blow it all up for you if you ask me to. Because it was my idea.
Yeah.
And so I think there's kind of that nice little piece of another side of him,
Mhm.
even
I
though,
agree.
again, he is a complicated young man.
Very complicated.
So kind of with that, you answered this a little bit, but, Ferris is magnetic. He's beloved, completely sure of himself. Did you find this freeing or did it irritate you? And what do you think that reaction says?
A little of both. More irritating as there were no consequences.
Yep.
Because I'm just like, okay, this is like over the top. And more of the areas where he was pushing people that I don't think he should have been pushing. Like taking his dad's car, I'm like, that was 10 steps too far for me.
Yeah, I would have never done it.
Right.
We wouldn't be friends probably because I would
Right.
have said no.
Like, so things like that really irked me, but not
Fair.
in general of like getting his friends out there and having an amazing day. And like,
Yeah.
honestly, I was so impressed with like the process that they went through to get out of school. I was like, this is crazy. This is
Yeah.
so inventive.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, kind of going back to the moment where the principal learns he's not talking to Ferris, not that he's actually talking to someone's
Right.
dad, but just the ingenuity around
Yes.
Cameron pretending to be Sloane's
Yes.
dad so that Ferris can time the call to the secretary.
And, like, it took me a second to catch on to that 'cause at first I was
Yes.
like, "Oh my gosh, she's really talking to this girl's dad."
Yeah.
And so they did it very well, like, just how they planned all that out and how they, like, just showed each aspect of
Yes,
it.
I agree. With the fact that all of them did it together.
Yeah.
Um, and again, we're looking at them as young teenagers and trying to give them some grace of just like they're ornery, like they're gonna just
Right.
do what they're gonna do. But I do think that they are both smart, mature, and super immature all at the same time.
Yes,
Like
very
they have
much
little
so.
moments of, wow, that's actually really deep and like clever. And then you're just like, oh my God, you're literally the dumbest 17-year-old I've ever seen.
Yes, yes,
But
all
I
of
guess
the
the
above.
hubris works for that age as well.
For sure, for
Yeah,
sure. And again, you could get away with more back in that time too.
I swear. Yeah, just the idea that, like, no one knows where you're at.
Mhm.
Like, I do remember that from being a kid, and just, like, we hope you're where you say you are.
Right. We're like, "Come back before dark."
Yes.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, I lived in the middle of nowhere, so, like, you could only get into but so much trouble, like, we're in the creek, like,
Yeah.
that's what we're
Yeah.
doing.
You didn't have a baseball game to
Yeah,
hit in
no.
the, Natural Museum of Art.
No.
I do love that it's also the fair or the German festival that day. Like, just what are the odds
Yes.
that this one day he takes off, they not only hit a baseball game, it's baseball season, they make it to the museum, they have an amazing lunch, and they
Mhm.
get to be in this parade. Like, it's
Yes.
just all the perfect timing of everything. It's adorable. All right, let's see. So I guess to juxtapose that, Cameron spends the whole day terrified of living while standing next to someone who makes it look effortless. Who do you relate to more, and does the answer make you comfortable or uncomfortable?
I would say I probably relate more with Ferris in this regard,
Mhm.
because I'm someone who doesn't have kids, I'm not in a relationship, I really am free to just be
Yeah.
about my life, and there are a lot of people looking in that would be like, "Wow, you did these cool things, and I
Yeah.
wish I could do that," or like, "I moved across the country," and people be like, "Oh my god, that's so brave," and I'm like, "Is it? Like, I was working remotely, I don't have
Yep.
a boyfriend, I don't have kids, I don't
Yep.
like if I didn't like it, I could just come back."
Yep.
So yeah, I would say I definitely relate more to Ferris, and it's interesting because I feel like when I was younger, I was much more type A and I needed things to be a certain way and I
Yeah.
had to have a full plan. And that's changed a lot in the last couple of years. And so
Yeah.
it's fun, like thinking about that and me, living my life the way I want to live it for the most part, outside of
Yeah.
being a millionaire and being able to travel whenever I want.
Sure.
But
There's levels, right? You would
yeah,
love to level to that
yeah,
place of like, well, now I can take the freedom
yeah,
and actually just explore and not have to like be in this engine that never ends.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that. And I get that part of like, it's interesting how other people see that freedom as bravery and I think are scared of that.
Hmm.
Right. So like, even though I think was more a genie in high school and I am more that personality of like, I want to follow the rules. I want to live freely within some set of rules,
Hmm.
right? So I do think I've tried to marry that because very similarly, I moved cross country to go to grad school and everybody had a similar reaction.
Right.
Like, how are you going to go from, the South to California when you don't know anybody?
Hmm.
And I just thought, like, why not?
Right.
Like, I couldn't imagine just staying in this one city with
Hmm.
the people I went to elementary school with and had already kind of been in the area to go to undergrad.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Lots of people stay. I just always wondered what it would be like to do it, and I didn't want to miss out on that. So
And it doesn't
even
have to be permanent.
absolutely, and that's the other thing I don't understand. I mean, I guess I understand conceptually the fear of like, what do I do if it doesn't work out?
Mhm.
But I do think there is this nature of like, then you just try something else.
Right.
And even though, again, I am a rule follower, type A in that way still, I luckily am not afraid to try something and have it not go well. I'm much more afraid to not try it at all.
Yeah, I agree.
So I do think I have that little bit of Ferris, that little tiny
Just a
nugget I'll
little
give
bit.
myself. I'm definitely not as cool or as free, but I agree of that freedom of just like, try it out,
Mhm.
see what happens, take a chance. That part within some sort of set of rules really resonates with
Yeah.
me. I have known lots of people, I think, who are much more like Cameron, almost frozen by the
Right.
fear of consequences.
Right.
And I don't resonate with that part specifically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Why don't we switch it up a little bit? What do you have? I have a bunch more, and I want to kind of just get a snapshot of what you jotted down and what stood out to you.
The exaggeration in the beginning with how he was playing his parents in terms of just like being sick and the
Yeah.
things he was saying and
Yes.
first of all, my mom was so strict when I was younger. Like there is no way
She
she
would
would
put
have
on for that?
what? Not any piece of that. That's just what I kept thinking in the beginning. I was like,
Yes.
this is so crazy.
Yep.
Um and it like you said, comments like the loving and caring parents,
Yes.
special people,
I'm so lucky.
oh my gosh. I wrote down so many like little phrases. I was like, this is crazy.
Yes.
And then the dynamic of the younger and older siblings and
Yes.
like the expectations of each. I feel like there's a lot of older sisters that
Yep.
had younger brothers that
Oh.
probably like experienced that
Yes.
dynamic. And so it was just like very funny to watch. Like I have younger siblings, but they're way younger. So
Yeah.
it was already so many years.
Very
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, very different dynamic. So that stuff really stood out to me in the beginning and just made me laugh so hard. Um, and then some of the stuff we had kind of already talked about. The one quote when Cameron was still at his house that said, "You're not dying. You just can't think of anything good to do." I was like, I don't know why that just made me laugh so hard, and stuck out to me. But I was like, that's so interesting to just like not
Yes.
being able to think of anything good to do. So you're just there. And I think a
Yes.
lot of people experience that.
Oh, for sure. And again, without going into like some of the heavier stuff right away, I can't help but wonder if this is how my brain works at this point. If Cameron's really depressed, which we didn't use
Mhm.
that language back then,
Right.
he has an abusive dad who's super emotionally unavailable and
Yeah.
sounds like could get physical at some point. There's some line about how he like wigged out or whatever over what was it that Cameron had dropped when he talks about he loves this car. He wigged out when I
I
don't
know what
remember
you're
the
talking about,
quote.
but I can't remember specifically.
Yeah, he broke something
Mhm.
and his dad flipped out or wigged out, implying that it got bad.
Right.
So, like, what do you think he'd do about the car?
Right.
So, if I think in my therapist brain, it's like, yeah, he's super depressed. Like, he
Yeah.
lives in a terrible cold home out in the
Right.
middle of nowhere, no relationship with either of his parents, maybe a really scary, abusive dad. Like, he doesn't have a context or a framework
Mhm.
other than survival. And so I do love Ferris's perspective, even on that angle of like, you're down because you don't know
Right.
what you want to even do for fun. But I kind of appreciate both sides of that. And I guess we're made to see that Ferris has a really good relationship with his parents,
Mhm.
although they're absent in a totally different way.
Yes.
But it does seem like, or it's communicated, there's genuine care and affection there.
Mhm.
Even at the end when they get back and Jeannie's like ran all the lights or the stop signs and the
Oh my
mom is like
gosh.
screaming and losing all her papers and she gets out of the car and she's basically like, I'm gonna kill our daughter, and he's like, we gotta shoot her. But their like connection in that brief moment where they like seem genuinely there for each other and
Right.
they hug each other. There is this piece of like Ferris's home seems pretty great.
Mhm.
Like there's actual like caring, loving relationships,
Agreed.
even though he is treated like a saint who could do no wrong.
Yes.
But yes, in that beginning part, I love when they cut to Jeannie's face and she's like flicking him off, and then she flips out like a little kid, like you're letting him skip school. Like,
Oh my gosh.
this is so unfair.
Yes.
Like she's 10.
Yes. And then watching every moment in the movie where someone said something about him or she saw something, I was like, at what point is she going to lose her shit? And what is that going to look like?
Literally.
'Cause
Yes.
it's coming for
Yes.
sure.
When it's up on the water tower. How did they get Save Ferris on the water tower
I
in
have
one
so
day?
many questions. It's in the newspaper. It's on the water tower. It's like, and I'm like, how did the word spread so quickly too when these people don't have like
Cell
cell
phones.
phones?
I
Like,
know.
what?
I was thinking about that when he calls on his actual phone and the guy's like standing at a payphone at the high school and he's doing his sick noises on the keyboard. And like he's literally the original social media where he's spreading his story. I guess he picked maybe the loudmouth people that he knew would spread it like wildfire. I don't know. But it does make me giggle to see him like plant all the seeds. He has a tried and true process. And even the fact that he like hacks into the principal's computer to change his absences, I'm like, this is like 1986. How is he doing this?
You should have seen my face when that part came on. Because again, I work in tech, so like I understand what's happening nowadays. I was like, what year was this? Was this even possible? Like, what?
I don't know. I don't know. But I guess that's, again, painting this fictional foundation for how it spreads is because he's very good at what he does. He's clearly beloved already.
Right.
The most popular kid in school. Everyone knows who Ferris is. So for him to be out and even the sprinkle that he might not make it.
It was so funny.
The entire town has to rally together.
People grabbing or collecting money, sending the like nursegram or whatever they're called was crazy.
Also, that's one thing where I paused and said, this doesn't age well.
No! What? Maybe I shouldn't finish that sentence.
Thank you. You took the words out of my mouth. Clearly, she's implying she's a sex worker?
Yeah.
That was sent to a teenager's house.
Correct.
Drop that bomb right in the middle of I'm assuming a family comedy.
Like if this was for the dad, different story. For the child? No.
And also, who sent it? Who's sending a like sexy nurse that is willing to do who knows what to your house?
Oh my goodness.
And there was multiple people there, so where was this headed?
I had so many questions.
I think there's
that whole scene, my mouth was literally wide open. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
I'm probably diving way too much in this one blip in the movie. I'm sure it's just a plot device for Jeannie's meltdown when she's waiting for the cops to show up. But when I was watching it over the weekend, I was like, this really got some wheels turning.
Oh, yeah.
Me. It is like a totally different movie if the nurse and all the people make it in the house.
It
and
was
Ferris
crazy.
Is there.
It was crazy.
This turns into like an American Pie style teen comedy where you're just like, oh, we're going that route.
Is this okay? What?
No,
am I
it's not.
watching?
The short answer is it's not okay. All right, what else you got?
Keep going?
Yep.
Okay. The clarinet will cause me like PTSD watching that because
what's like the trauma?
Just my mom making me bring it out on like holidays and stuff to play for my family and practice and show off my skills. Y'all, I was not a good clarinet player. Like, why did she do that?
Who knew that was going to be the trigger out of
what? I was like, no more music.
What's also funny is it's another example of him doing something just for shits and giggles that he doesn't have to do, that other people would like put time and energy and stress about, where he's just like, never one lesson. Like with this terrible sound effects.
Yeah,
privilege dripping and
oh my gosh, so that part was funny living that back.
Some bad memories.
I had also had the payphone part. I was like, I never really thought about them being payphones in school, you know, because I never, like, even before cell phones and stuff, we just didn't have phones because I was in elementary school and middle school
as it was changing,
right? So like you just go to the principal's office if you need to call your parents. Like,
that's a good point. I did not have a payphone on campus. You would have to go to the office and get permission to use the phone, or they would like, you know, over the speaker come to the office if someone's trying to get a hold of you if it was your parents or something. But that now that I'm saying it, I'm just so used to that scene in the movie that I guess I never really thought about like you just go use a payphone at school. How would you ever get anyone to class? They just be like talking to people like no, like move along. This is a hangout zone.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe that high school was different.
Maybe
if you were a 17-year-old in 1986 or whatever, let us know if that's what it was like.
We need
now
to know.
I'm curious.
For sure, because that part really stood out to me. I was like, huh. Okay, never really thought about it.
Yeah. And I love how just gullible everybody is, right? With, "Oh,
Yes.
shit, that sounds serious." And he's just, like, playing on the keyboard and making noises, like, "Does it? It kind of sounds like nonsense."
And the story just kept changing
Oh, for
also.
sure.
Like, it was crazy by the end.
So he's dying,
Yeah.
and even Jeannie's like, "Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay,
Or his
thanks."
mom too. She was like, thank you? Oh, yeah.
100%. Um,
The other thing with the teachers that made me laugh is, like, why all of their glasses were so thick and crazy looking. But then I remember, like, glasses in the older times just looked like that, but I
yeah,
was like, every teacher had these, like, really thick, crazy glasses.
yeah. I mean, I guess I could say, now that you're saying that out loud, that's my trigger because I remember back in the day having the thickest glasses ever because literally we didn't have the same technology
Right,
for blind ass people like me to get a frame that you actually like.
right.
It was like, "Oh, for your prescription, you could choose from these frames." And then you turn sideways and it's an inch thick. So I guess that's just the way it was, Angel.
Oh, it made me laugh.
Weren't allowed to have cute, fashionable glasses and be very visually impaired.
Honestly, it just added to the teacher vibe, though. It was like they were old, they were monotone, they had these glasses, so the whole vibe just made me laugh so hard.
I do love when it pans around the classroom and all the students are just like
Yeah.
catatonic, practically like drool coming out.
Yes. That and when they were saying, like, the student's name doing roll call, I was like, Bueller, Bueller. Every name was so monotone.
Absolutely. That's just the perfect image of that movie that has really lasted for generations.
It's so
Is
funny.
just the roll call. It's
Oh
perfect.
my gosh. Yeah.
Yes.
You wanna go with yours?
Yes. Okay. So let's see. I don't want to jump too far ahead. Um, we kind of go back to the Jeannie stuff. So Jeannie resents Ferris the entire film for getting away with everything. And have you ever been consumed by someone else's freedom?
By freedom. I wouldn't say consumed, but when I was younger, I lived with my mom and my older brother and sister lived with my dad. And they lived in New York City, and so much different life than where
Yes.
I lived.
Yep.
When I would come visit, it look, we talk about it a lot now. Like when you get older, you realize other people's realities and things
Yes.
are not always as they seem.
Yes.
But I remember being younger and visiting my siblings and just being like, they can just do whatever they want. Like they're
Yep.
just roaming the city. They like people don't even have tabs on them,
Yep.
you know? That is not how my life was at all, 0%. And so I just not that it consumed me, but I do remember being envious of that, and
And
at times
noticing.
being like, "I wanna live with my dad because there's no rules over here, and I can do
Course.
what I want," right? When in reality, I'm very thankful that was not the case, would have been a much different life for me.
Yes.
But yeah, so I would say that's probably one that comes to mind. How about for you?
I mean, I think that's probably pretty similar because I was always like that type A academic kid, and I liked a lot of things about that,
Mhm.
but I do think I had a lot of complicated feelings around friends who didn't seem propelled in that way, right? Like they would go to parties on the weekend, and I just
Mhm.
remember thinking like I don't know that I wanted that different life. I liked a lot of the stuff I was doing. I think I more wanted the lack of the anxiety.
Mm.
Like, again, I didn't have that language as a kid, but I
Right.
was always hyper aware that I seemed stressed out and other people didn't.
Yeah, that's
To your
fair.
point, though, I don't know that that's true.
Right.
But I think it was more just this awareness of like, people joke kids have that kind of personality. And I was one of those kids. Like, I've been 40 since I was 8. So, like, I think I had an instinctive ability to tell when other people didn't seem to feel that way.
Mm.
And that was the part I was envious of, was like, how you so chill? How you so relaxed?
Right.
And not even a specific set of behaviors, just an energy.
I can understand that.
So that's the part where I was like, I would be the genie
Yeah,
of
for
like, this
sure.
isn't fair and we have to focus on school and grades, and people breaking the rules in school would have annoyed me more just because I didn't want the rest of us have to deal with it. I
That's
do
fair.
remember that distinctly. Like, I hated when people were, like, mean to the teacher
Oh, yeah, that's so
or if we all
uncomfortable.
got in
Yeah.
trouble, and I'd be like, "I just wanna do my work."
Right. It's weird because I was very type A also, but I don't know if some of this stuff would have bothered me like it did Jeannie. Like, I was just like,
Yeah,
"Y'all y'all are hooligans, like, you go to your thing, stay away from me," type of thing. But
that's what
then
I wish I had.
also as I got older, I had more freedom in high school because I was an athlete and
Sure.
our soccer coach, like,
Yep.
would give us a pass to get out of class and stuff, and I'd go
Yeah.
driving and driver's ed with when it wasn't my driving time and just
Yeah.
doing, like, things like that. So it's I think as I got older, I've slowly started to lose some of the type A-ness in certain ways. Now I've lost it in a lot of ways in my personal life, not work life. Not at all in work, but,
Yeah. I mean, I do think there was a double-edged sword, though, because I was a good student and I had a job and, like, I did what I was supposed to do. I
right.
did get a lot of freedom as an older teenager. But I definitely think it's fair to say I would have had a hard time with, I think, people doing things that I didn't consider fair.
That's fair.
And I think that part has probably still carried into adulthood.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to see people, like, kinda get away with stuff
Mhm.
when other people could never get away with that.
Makes sense.
And I think that's just more like a socio-political thing as an adult
Right.
now, where I'm like, "This motherfucker gets to do what?" And, like, that person would never get away with that if it was reversed, you know?
Yeah.
That stuff still lingers.
That's fair. I would say the other part of this too is I've always been the reliable person. So
Yeah.
even when I was younger, like I was the kid that people would say they were with because their parents wouldn't question what they were doing.
Yes.
And I knew that. Like, and so it's kind of always been that way of like,
Yeah.
if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Like, for the most part, I'm pretty straight edge, follow the rules to an extent, and
Yeah.
know where gray areas are. But
Yeah.
I like that. Like, I like being that person too.
Yeah. And I do think those parts of me I really like now as well. Like, I like being reliable, dependable, and I like doing at least what I think is right by my own
Yeah.
values and not being swayed. Like, I wouldn't have been a Cameron either, where I was gonna let
No.
someone push me around.
What? Absolutely. Take my parents' car?
No.
What are you saying?
There is no reward big enough to outweigh the potential
No.
consequences of that decision.
Absolute there's no way. There's not one chance that that would have ever happened.
Yeah. I mean, I, like, know someone who was kind of that type of character even into their 20s. I probably told you the story before. I won't say who it is because it's not my story. But with a group of friends, stole a car from a valet in
No, you didn't
Vegas.
tell me about that.
Oh, remind me to give you the backstory when we're
Oh,
not live.
boy.
But just for fun. And brought it back. Joyride, just like in the movie. Nothing bad happened. And I remember this person telling me that story, and my thought was never once in my life, A, would that have crossed my mind,
No.
or B, would I have gotten away with it?
No.
I'm just not built that way.
Mm-mm.
But the story was so cavalier because it turned out fine.
Right.
That Ferris Bueller mentality, even as a 20-year-old,
Yeah.
could not, would not,
No.
would have nightmares.
100%. I honestly might have a heart attack on the way back with the car
Oh,
because I'd
yeah.
be so
It wouldn't have
stressed.
been fun because I would have been a mess the entire
Yes.
time of like, this is how I go to prison
100%.
and everything I've worked for is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not built like that. Um, okay, so let's see. Where else did I want to go? Mm-mm-mm. So kind of in that vein, but a little on the serious side. So Cameron does destroy his father's car. Spoiler alert. The thing that he's been most afraid of his whole life. How did you feel watching that scene? And when have you had maybe a Cameron moment of your own?
Um, I remember watching it and being surprised,
Yeah.
but then also, like, happy for him of
Yeah.
just having that release, and also scared for him because 'cause I'm like, "What does this gonna turn out like when
I know.
Chad gets
We
home?"
don't see that in
I
the movie,
know.
so
And I kind of wish they would've because it would have been nice to see some sort of, like, full circle moment
that's
of, like,
true.
what he's saying he's going to, like, care about and change what he cares about actually
Yeah.
coming to fruition. Um, but yeah, I remember being like, "Good for you. Like, you obviously needed this release and
Yeah.
probably not the healthiest way, but like, hey, it was a thing, not a person, or
True.
could have been other bad things that he
Yes.
chose. Um, and I like the stick it to dad, honestly.
Yeah.
So that was good. I don't know if I've had a moment like that. Not like, hmm. I feel like the closest is like leaving toxic job, but
Mm.
nothing where I'm like breaking something or anything along those lines.
Yes, more than fair. I was trying to think too, like, what would my answer be? So I think emotionally, though, that scene still really gets me every
Yes.
time because it's also such a stark contrast to the rest of the movie. Like,
Mhm.
Cameron breaks down before the car goes
Yes.
flying out the window or through the glass.
I mean, I was worried about him at the pool scene.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
that
I
was
know.
crazy
But even
leading
then, they
into
try to
it.
like sprinkle the
I
lightness in on
know,
it.
but for a sec before they did, I was like,
He's not
"What?"
well.
Yeah,
He is
like
struggling.
yeah.
And maybe suicidal, like, have
Right.
this, like, weird undertone of, like, a significant mental health storyline, but
Yes.
again, it's the '80s, we don't
Right.
care.
Well, and you can see it with Bueller too, where he's like, maybe he is actually sick. And it's like,
Yes.
no, he's not like sick as in like a cold sick. It's like
Right.
mentally sick
Yes, he's
too.
struggling,
Right.
like,
And so that
actually
was
struggling.
interesting that they like added that little
Yes.
piece in there also. So then like leading up to the car scene was just like
Yes.
a lot happening.
Yep. So rewatching it though, like, it still hits me, I feel just this immense sadness for him,
Yeah.
and I do appreciate the vulnerability and the breakdown, and I really love how Ferris and Sloane are just there for him.
Hmm.
They don't minimize it, they really just listen and are just like, "Whoa, like,
Yeah.
clearly this is a lot." Um, but yeah, like, when the car goes through the glass and it's broken, I think I still struggle with the impending doom of what happens
Yes.
now? So, like, I get the liberated piece or, like, the release part, but I think it's just that part that's hardwired in my brain of, like, you did something so bad. What happens now?
Hmm.
And I don't know if it just wouldn't fit tonally in the movie to explore that. Like,
Right.
I don't know how you do that and it not change the entire movie, especially the way it ends.
Right.
Like, so it is very fascinating to think where would that go and what would happen. But my answer was gonna be the same of, like, I think the closest Cameron moment I've had is leaving a really toxic job, and that internal struggle of, like, "Do I just need to do more? Am I not doing enough? Am
Hmm.
I the problem?" And then getting to that breaking point of, like, "No, like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I gotta do what I gotta do. I can't be stuck in this place anymore
Yes.
and let it destroy me. I gotta take a stand," I think is his line,
Mhm.
which I love. And so that piece I think really resonates. Now, I don't know if that was the way to do it. Again, I don't know how crazed this dad is when he
Yep.
comes home that night.
I
He is
mean,
still a child.
your whole window is busted along with your car. Like,
Yeah, your car
holy
museum
moly.
is basically destroyed.
Oh,
Like, it's a very interesting
yeah,
moment in such a light, funny, absurd movie.
right. And again,
It
I
just
didn't think
sparked
it
a
was
point.
gonna get to that because
Yeah,
I thought the valet guys were gonna
destroyed.
destroy it. Like, I didn't even think we were gonna make it past that.
Which I love how they kind of, like, take you on this journey, and then everything's great, and then you see the odometer, and it's like, "This is the part where Cameron flips out." I do have to say, though, just because life is life, and like you said, when Cameron has that guttural scream in the car, I was like, "That's what I need.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds amazing, right?
Where can I go and just full body scream at the top of my lungs?" Because I really resonated with Cameron in that
Yes.
moment.
Yes.
I just can't take it anymore.
Yes.
But
I will say, and maybe I wasn't paying attention enough, but at that point, they were like panning to things and people that were like far away,
yeah,
but they didn't actually like have them move their head like they heard something, I don't think.
when Cameron screams?
Yes.
My only memory is that the camera goes into Cameron's mouth,
Hmm.
and you don't really see Ferris and Sloane.
Not them, but I remember it going to like different parts of the city it was panning
Oh,
to.
interesting.
And I
Okay.
remember, and again, maybe I just wasn't paying attention enough, but like I don't remember anyone like looking as if like
Reacting?
they heard the scream. And
Got
so I
it.
thought it was very interesting that they added it without adding that
People are being
bit.
like, "What was
Yeah,
that?" Or the bird scattering or something.
exactly.
Okay. I actually don't remember, but in my brain, it cuts right to him being catatonic, and they're just, like, pulled over on the side of the road wherever and trying to figure out what to do before they take him to the pool.
That
So
part
I'd
was
have to
crazy
go
too.
back and watch that little sequence, that movement, because I actually don't remember, but it's crazy. Alright, So Ferris manufactures an entire perfect day through sheer will and audacity. What's something that maybe you've been waiting for permission to do that you could just do?
Like, realistically or, like,
Give me both.
on the edge?
Pie in the sky and realistically.
Well, like, maybe watching the Bueller movie is what's done this, but this weekend I was like, "I just wanna travel." Like, I don't wanna be still anymore. I just
Yeah.
wanna go and be a nomad like all these remote workers and
Yeah.
whatever. And I started, like, looking into a bunch of stuff. So I would say that's probably my, like, most recent one.
Yeah.
Who knows if that will come to fruition, but
That's fair.
it's top of brain at the moment. I'm also trying to make sure that's, like, actually what I want, and it's not because I'm just feeling trapped in the second.
Reactionary
Yeah.
to other things. I get that too, right? You kind of reel yourself back in
Yeah.
and decide.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
On a smaller scale, I would say, teaching pole dancing, like, that's
Nice.
something that's been on my mind for a while, and I'm having a
Yeah.
little imposter syndrome right now, and so I'm like, "Okay, at some point, I need to just do it,"
Yes.
but I'm grappling with that at the moment.
I think that second one really fits in the context of what we're talking about in terms of like what would really stop you.
Right.
Right. So, like, if you sit with that and think about it, what permission or what do you need to just be free
Mhm.
to just do the thing
Yeah.
and then see what happens? That's
Yep.
exciting. Oh, I want to hear all the details. I love
Yes.
that. I guess kind of coming full circle with not knowing really anything about this movie and like getting brought into the kind of culture of it. Is there anything that you think might have hit differently or landed differently if you'd seen it as a teenager versus watching it now?
Um, I wonder if I would've had more envy for, like, where he lived and being able to even do these things that he was doing, right? Like,
Yeah,
again, I lived in the middle of nowhere. There was not a day that would have even been close to this
sure. Even
happening.
if you had been more
Yeah,
reckless.
absolutely not. So I wonder that part, and I wonder if it would have made me want to skip school more. Because
Yeah.
again, like, I wasn't that kid
Yep.
or teenager. So I wonder if I would have seen it in a more glamorized way like this movie, if I would have gotten the itch more to, like, actually do that.
Yeah, I do think that seeing it when you're closer to his age does change the perspective, right? Because, like, for me as an adult, I get that stupid, annoying adult voice of like, when will I ever have a day that I could just do anything?
Yeah.
Or like, how could I take these risks without all these consequences? And even as a kid, again, wishing I wasn't so stressed as a young child, but there was a piece of like, I think because I was the other end of it, I was so young,
Mhm.
like, oh, wow, am I going to be able to do stuff like that when I'm
Mhm.
17 or whatever?
Right.
Like, do you get to just do whatever you want when you're
Yeah.
17 or 16? Like, so I do think there was a little bit of that, of almost the other age angle of like,
Mhm.
wow, when I grow up, do I get to do whatever I want? And then ended up being an adult who's super boring and just like
Right.
does all the things that they're supposed to do.
Exactly. Do you think you, like, thought about, like, "Oh, people play hooky all the time, like, that's
Yes.
normal."
I do
Yeah.
think it informed that in my mind. But again, because of the way brains make sense of things, I thought that was probably more normal, what
Mhm.
so risky because of running into people that I like
Right.
worked it into this. You probably can, but the risk is too high
Right.
because I don't want to run into a principal or a parent at a
Yeah.
restaurant when I'm supposed to be doing something else.
Right.
The neuroses is strong. It makes me a great therapist, but also, type A is a real thing.
It is a real
It may
thing.
be pseudoscience. I'm here to say it's also real. All right. So, a few more. After watching this, I'm wondering what, if anything, shifted in maybe how you think about ways you want to spend just an ordinary day.
Um, Definitely a little more free-spirited. Not to the extent that Ferris is, but
Yes.
a little bit more. I even saw something today. It was a Instagram post that was like, people have stopped doing things after work during weekdays. And it's like, even people who are in office,
Yeah.
let's go and grab a drink after work.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay. And then they're like, you know what? I'm really tired. Like, maybe we'll do it this weekend. And then it said like another week of not
Yes.
getting together.
Yes.
And I resonate with that a lot right now where I'm like, I'm just I'm burnt. Like, I don't want to people after I get
Sure.
off work and
Sure.
stuff. And so I would just say, like, taking advantage of the time that you do have and not overthinking it and not
Yeah.
getting drained by, I mean, this dude cares about literally
Nothing.
nothing. So
He's the other
he
extreme.
doesn't get drained by anything seemingly. So yeah, just having a little bit more of that energy.
Yeah, I love that example because I very much relate to the like, I like to plan, and planning, I think, helps me manage a lot of things, but it also has shortcomings. So I had a really good friend that actually just moved away last week, and we had been trying to get a goodbye dinner in the works for her for about a week because it was kind of last minute, and we never got it planned. And
Mm.
so on Tuesday at like 10:30, the messages come in of like, we're going out tonight,
Oh gosh.
this is the night that works. She was leaving on Friday. And my little brain is like, it's not on my calendar. I love this person and I want to
Right.
see this person, and it's already Tuesday and it's not
Right.
on my calendar. Like, I don't know if I can mentally do it.
Mhm.
And how am I going to feel if I miss it? So,
Yeah.
long story to say, I did go and I was so happy I went. And I had a very similar thought process of like, we don't really do things like that last minute. And it
Right.
was nothing crazy. We just went to dinner, small group of
Mhm.
us, wished her well, talked about what, we loved about her being here. And I would have really regretted missing that if I had gotten too in my head of like, it wasn't on my calendar.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And so I do think that there is something to say about like, that was just an ordinary Tuesday.
Right.
And I'll have that memory forever of just like, how nice to just share a meal with people that you really care about and not miss that
Absolutely.
opportunity. So I
Yeah.
think you nailed it. Um, so kind of with that, the whole city of Chicago becomes Ferris's playground for one afternoon, which is, suspension of disbelief. What do you think your version of a perfect stolen day would look like
Mm.
if we took our own advice after this conversation?
If I'm staying locally.
Sure. Well,
um,
use the backyard.
okay. I would say some version of a yummy brunch where I
Mm,
can sit outside. I need to be in some body of water, whether that's a pool or a lake. Oh, I don't really like lakes actually. Pool or river or
fair.
beach. Um, and doing something fun with friends in that regard. And then getting some time to just read and be by myself is
Yeah.
also part of that.
Peopling and some solo
Yes.
time. Love it.
And then I would say, like, maybe ending it with some Korean karaoke, like those box rooms where you can karaoke with people. Because I don't like karaokeing by myself because I'm not a good singer, but when we're in a little room together, I enjoy that very much. And then, yeah, ending with dinner and maybe a game night.
That's amazing, and honestly, mine is having to hide from your parents. Kind of a very similar day in terms of you're outside, you're
Yeah.
with people, you've got your own time, you've got good food, you've
Mhm.
got some stimulating
Yeah.
activities, like, you kind of hit a lot of the high points that he had.
Yeah.
That's really sweet. Okay, so I know we're winding down. Anything else that you had jotted down in reflection that you wanted to share? I only have 2 more.
Um, the part where Sloane was making out with her dad when Ferris picked her up, and the the principal was just like, "Huh, that type of relationship.
Yep.
What are we saying?
What type of family
What are we saying?"
is that? 100%. And it's like a full tongue,
Yes!
several beats kiss.
And also goes back to Ferris just, like, not giving a fuck.
Yep.
Like, if you're picking up somebody and you know you're already, like, on the thin ice of this working or not working, and you
Correct.
take that risk when you're about to be with that person for the day,
I know.
that's insane to me.
It's just like the most bizarre angle to take.
Like, I was not expecting
I
that
know.
at all. I was so
I still
caught off
chuckle
guard.
every time because just the look on Principal's face where he's clearly uncomfortable, but also I think he's so rattled,
Yes.
right? Because he thinks he just insulted
Right.
her dad right there.
Yeah.
That he's like,
I'm not touching that one.
it's cultural. I don't know. The family's
That's
different.
fair. So yeah, that stuck out to me. The wallpaper in Ferris's house made me laugh so hard because I remember that being a thing in like my grandparents' house and stuff.
It's very, very dated.
Yeah, and you will not see that most places
I agree.
nowadays.
Don't think anyone. No offense.
Oh my goodness. Yes, no offense. I mean, those were wild, but no offense
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
um And then the rabbit foot, when they were rubbing the rabbit foot, I
For
was
good
like,
luck.
yeah, I can't remember the last. I remember people having those
Yeah.
at like the book fairs and stuff, that being something people bought.
Yeah.
I cannot remember seeing a rabbit's foot since like elementary school.
I agree, and it used to be a thing that everybody had.
Right.
It was a thing.
Yes.
I don't know if it just became, like, not okay to have a
don't
dead rabbit's foot on your
know.
keychain, but it really was, like,
Right.
everybody had one for good luck.
Like, I haven't thought about it in so
Until
many
you
years
saw
until
it.
this movie, and I was like, wow, what happened to those?
I do love that part, though, where they ask Sloane what he's doing, and she says, "Making obscene gestures and licking the glass." It's just the most random
Oh
line
my
that has
gosh.
stuck with me.
So
They
funny.
just have these amazing fast one-liners.
Yes, yes, that part just really made me laugh so hard. Um, yeah, I think that is most of it. Outside of like, did the sister not know what the principal looked like? Because when he got in the house originally, and like maybe it like happened quick, but it didn't feel like it happened that quick between like her seeing him and
Right.
then not seeing him.
Right.
And I was like, did she not recognize it was him until she found his wallet later on?
Yeah, I wonder about that too. And again, like giving it some grace. She's just so frustrated and upset about everything.
Yeah.
And she is home alone in this big
Right.
house. So I think it's just that shock of like, there's this man standing in my kitchen that she just goes into
Yeah.
like karate chop mode and kicks him in the face or
Yeah.
whatever. And I don't know if it registered that it was him or if it didn't. I
Right.
mean, that is such a great point. But I think it's, again, just the absurdity of
Yeah.
like what he goes through to prove he's right,
Right.
only to have Jeannie come on board
Yeah.
to help
So
Ferris at
funny.
the end, which I know we're getting low on time, but we didn't even talk about her bumping into Charlie Sheen at the gas, or sorry,
So
at the gas
random.
station, at the police station. And that bizarre interaction that like changes her whole worldview, where he's
Right.
like, he's not the problem, you're the problem.
Yeah. From a random guy who does drugs that you would never
Clearly
never
a
talk to.
disaster.
Yeah.
But somehow that, again, like sparks something in her that she just sees everything
Yes.
differently. And
Yes.
she's like a
So
little
funny.
sweet girl in love with this weirdo guy. But that part, just the whole from there to the end, I think is perfect.
Yeah.
And I love the scene where she's racing home and they see each
So
other.
funny.
And then that's such a quintessential scene too, that when I think Ferris Bueller, I think that movie, that straightaway where he has to run and he's going through the houses and the backyards, and then he gets home and she helps him.
Yeah.
And I just love that.
Yeah.
Like, I
thought it was
love
done
that
well.
moment that comes back around. And I also love that when he gets in bed, he kicks the dummy out. The ball that he caught at the
Mhm.
game, the foul ball, is the ball that he uses to turn off the stereo. Just those little details.
Yeah.
I just think there's so much cuteness embedded in the story. We didn't even get into him on the float, which is another famous scene. And the dance,
It's
everybody
so
going
crazy.
crazy. And that song is so, in my mind, forever intertwined with that movie.
Yeah. That's
But-
fair.
Okay, so my just last couple of questions, because I'm having so much fun and I don't want to keep you too long. So if you flash forward to a week from now, what image or moment from this film do you think might live in your head rent free? I just listed some of mine.
Definitely the rubbing the rabbit's foot.
Yeah,
The car going through the glass was so crazy for
that's a
me.
rough one.
The teachers, just all of the teachers.
The really dated stuff to the 80s. Yeah.
And that secretary, she had me cracking up. Like, I wish she was more in the movie, honestly.
She is
was
one of my
so
favorite
funny
parts.
to me.
Yeah.
Like, when she was, like, pulling pens out of her hair or something. Like, just, like, random things.
She also sniffs rat. Like, it's just a thing she's doing to get through the morning is
Oh
like
my
straight up. I'm like,
gosh.
wow, these people
Yes.
are really on the struggle bus. Like, it is
Yes.
all levels of insanity.
Ugh. There was something else. Oh yeah, no, when the car flew out the window, that was definitely like my eyes got so wide because I knew it was gonna
Kind of.
fall, but I wasn't expecting it to go out the glass window. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why I wasn't, but like when that happened, I was just like,
Well, because again, I think it's such a significant tonal shift.
yeah,
So I don't know that we're expecting something so catastrophic to
Right.
happen in this like silly movie.
yeah.
And it gets you in the heartstrings of like, oh, damn.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay. So last one. I wrote it down. Okay, so kind of like words of wisdom. Ferris says life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. just want to know kind of how that landed with you and maybe what you'll take away from, even though he's the extreme,
Mhm.
but from his perspective on life.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's interesting because I had a couple of friends who died when I was like 26. They were hit by a drunk driver. And ever since then, I've lived my life for the most part of like, again, doing things that I want to do. And
Yeah.
like, if I'm not enjoying something, like I'm a problem solver. I have to switch it up.
Yeah.
But I also get in these phases of like letting work overtake my schedule and just being so burnt out from different things.
Yeah.
That it's been like a very weird mix for me, especially the last like probably 2 to 3 years. And so I agree with what you're saying. Like I look at last year and I'm like, wow, I barely went in the pool during the summer, or I barely did this,
Yep.
or even just this year, like how fast it's flying.
Yeah.
And so I think he's right. Like you just need to take every moment and cherish it, and life is long until it isn't. So,
Oof, that's
just
a bar.
yeah, I that's one that hits me pretty hard.
Yeah.
And so, I think a lot of people focus on certain things for the future, but sometimes there just isn't one. And so like make sure you're living the life that you would be proud of and happy with.
Yeah. Oh, I really appreciate that. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
And I would say I didn't have a specific person like that maybe the shift happened, or a loss of a person like that. For me, I talk a lot, and I talk about this in session and with friends too, of like COVID.
Mm,
COVID for me was that moment where we were ground to a halt in a way that I never thought possible.
mhm.
And seeing so many people pass
Right.
and just the impact on our culture and our country, I think I had a similar moment of like, I've spent so much of my life for the future
Mhm.
in a way that has been really lovely, like, again, very academically oriented, knowing what I wanted to do with my life, feeling very purposeful in my roles. And at the same time, when everything ground to a halt, that wasn't on my bucket list.
Right.
That wasn't on my bingo card.
Mhm.
And so very much resonating with like, what if we don't have all this time?
Yep.
And I think it's so heartwarming and just kind of a testament to the power of movies, is like this one line in such a silly movie really is
Mhm.
a mantra that I think everyone can get on board with,
Yes.
regardless of anything else. Like, you just don't know what time you have left.
Yeah.
So with that, I want to thank you for spending your time with me and giggling about the movie. And I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And now you've seen a classic. So I'm ending every episode with this question. If you have an answer, great. If you don't, you can get back to me. I will hold myself to the homework.
Oh gosh.
What's a movie you love that you think I probably haven't seen?
That you haven't seen? Oh, probably any romance movie that I love because I know you or romantic comedies
Yeah,
because I
I'm
know you
not a
don't like
fan.
those.
I'm
So
not a fan.
probably quite a few
Being a
of
therapist
those.
has ruined romantic comedies for me.
Which is why I did not pick one because I knew that, but those are my favorite genres of movies.
Okay, this is
So
just round one.
let's see. Have you seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
I have. I love that
Oh, man.
movie. Yes.
Okay, that makes my heart happy. I love that so much.
I love that movie. And it is an endlessly rewatchable
Yes,
movie.
I've
Like, if
seen
it's
that
on
so
TV,
many times.
I don't care if there's commercials, I'm watching it.
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
That would have been one of my guesses, just a
Okay.
romantic comedy.
Well, not to me, I don't know if it's because it's so funny, it's, like, a little more crude. I
Mm,
don't know. To me, a rom-com's like, any Lifetime type
like The Notebook?
yes.
Oh,
Or
okay.
I guess it's not a comedy, that's a drama, but that's where I'm like, "No, I can't. This is not." It's so toxic to me. But I mean,
That's fair.
classics, like, I'm still a sucker for Pretty Woman,
Mm.
even though it's so problematic and does not age well. But yeah, so it's okay. You can think about it.
Okay.
Lexi actually gave me Lord of the Rings because I
Mm.
fell asleep and never went back.
Okay.
So I've got Lord of the Rings 1, and then as she left, she came up with Mean Girls, and I have never seen Mean Girls. So that is my
Sophie,
homework.
what?
Yeah.
You've
I
not
don't know
seen
how
Mean
I just
Girls?
missed that boat and have never gone back. So I promise Lexi I will watch Mean Girls.
Can we watch it together?
Sure. Absolutely. I told you,
Okay.
I'm taking this very seriously. If you all are going to take your time and hang out with me, I am taking these homework assignments.
How about Life? Have
I
you seen
don't
Life?
know if I've seen Life.
Ooh.
It's not coming up. I don't know
Okay.
what it is in my brain.
Get back to me on that.
Okay.
Life.
Mean Girls, Lord of the Rings, which I'm not looking forward to, and I thought I would. And Life. I'll have to look that up.
I haven't watched Lord of the Rings either, so if we need to watch that together, if
Okay.
you need a friend, I got
I
you.
may. I may, because I did try when it was new, and I literally fell asleep and woke up, and it was still going on, and I was like, "I'm out."
Fair.
And I hate the FOMO of everyone loving it so much, and I have no idea what you're talking about. So anyway, we've gone long. Thank you for your time. I hope you all enjoyed this. I've got some other great movies lined up and some more great friends to hang out with. So follow, subscribe, throw a like in there. Tell me
Yeah.
what you're getting from this, because this is my dream come true. So thanks for hanging out with us. Till next time. Bye.